Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next edition of Prospect Watch with your host, Lance Green.
All right, guys, back again for another edition of Prospect Watch, the podcast that focuses solely on the discovery and promotion of some of the best young talent in the game today from all reaches of the world. I'm your host, Lance Green, and of course, joining me is my co-host, Steel. Steel, how are you?
I'm doing great, Lance. I'm doing great, and I got to tell you something, buddy. We got an amazing talent right here with us today, too, don't we?
Yeah, man, I think so. Now, Steel, this week, this old goaltender is extra excited because joining us is none other than shot blocker Joshua Ravensbergen from the WHL's Prince George Cougars.
Yeah,
Josh, how
buddy.
are you? And thank you so much for being on the show.
Good. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
It's going to be a pleasure for sure.
For sure. So, guys, in case you don't know Josh or his game, let me quickly run down something we call getting familiar, so you guys can know just who this young man is, if in case you've been sleeping under a rock or whatever like that.
And
all right?
shame on you, because if you don't know.
So, now for those of you that don't know Josh or his game, this young guardian of the blue paint is one of, if not the best available netminders available in the 2025 NHL Entry Draft. That's my opinion. But you may not know, right? But you may not know that because his success was so largely overshadowed last year by the Cougars' offensive production, with them having at least 4 players that finished with 95 points or higher. All right. I wish I got that kind of goal production for my offense when I was in that. I don't know. But
holy moly.
Right. But let me break his stats down for you a little bit. Last season, the 6'4", 181-pound goalie whose butterfly styles allow him to be able to take over the bottom of the net, was able to record 26 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie in just 38 games played. Now, Steel, that means he won an incredible 68% of the games he played in last year.
That's eye-popping. Hello.
That's not too shabby, right? Furthermore, his 26 wins saw him finish 7th in the WHL in that category last year. But that even was deceiving because other goalies that finished with more than him came nowhere near his win percentage. They simply played in a ton more games than him, even up to 10 to 15 more starts than Josh had. So that was no fault of his own, though, because he was paired with a pretty darn good netminder in Ty Young, who was drafted by the Vancouver Canucks. So this season, I think, he's going to get more net time. And, even more so as far as his stats go last season, he finished with a league-leading 6 shutouts. All right? So,
Wowzers.
Man, this kid is going to be, bananas this year, guys. If you tune into a WHL game or highlights on TSN or wherever you're seeing these highlights, they're probably going to have him highlighting all of them. All right. So, Steel, let's get to some questions real quick. All right.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. First of all, Josh, just to let you know, we'll be playing some of those highlights while we're having this discussion, just to show the folks exactly the type of goaltender you are. So thank you very much for being on the show once again. So really appreciate it. We're going to take you back to the beginning here, okay? How old were you when you first decided to step in there between the pipes?
That's a good question. It was quite a long time ago. I think it was after my first year playing hockey. So age 3 or age 4, I think we would have been around.
All right. Okay.
Around 8 or 9 years goal, maybe.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but
All right, there you go. Okay, now quick little follow-up question. All right. Now, was that something that you wanted to do, or were you like kind of directed to do that?
no, from a memory, I didn't like standing in lines in practice, so I just wanted to be in the action all the time. So that's kind of why I chose goaltending and just really
Okay.
liked
Hey, Lance,
All right. Yeah.
he picked it. He picked it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, you had a lot going on as far as your mask went last year. Of course, that is a way us goaltenders, kind of express ourselves in a way. So, um, can you tell us who exactly painted your mask last season? And is the same guy or girl going to do it this year? And if so, what do you have planned out for that scheme this year?
Yeah. His name was Travis from the island. He's really happy with my last one, so I'm gonna go back with him again. We're kind of working on a few ideas. Maybe
Okay.
creating a burger somewhere in there because I think Dennis would like to call me up in PG, so I think that'd be cool.
All
But
right. All
just
right.
getting some sketches done right now, so hopefully it'll be
Okay.
ready.
So it's not done yet, but yeah.
No, yeah, just getting the ideas in right now. Haven't
Cool.
thought about
Cool.
it too much, but yeah, getting it going.
All right.
That's cool, man. I can't wait because that's kind of one of the things that I believe that Lance touched on. That's one of the areas where goaltenders, if you have the ability, some goalies don't have or choose to do so, but if you do, it's always really neat because it does give you a chance to kind of express yourself a little bit. So that's really cool. So speaking about doing those kinds of things, Josh, could you give us some of maybe your best attributes?
Yeah, as a goaltender,
Yes, sir.
I feel like I read the play really well and can use my size to my advantage. Being conservative in my crease and just being aware of wherever it is on the ice. Like the stick hand, stick, whether righty or lefty, and just being aware of that and that I can use that to my advantage. So that's my biggest point.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you do got an amazing glove hand, that's for sure. So what are the things do you think maybe that you could improve upon maybe to work on for this off season maybe?
Maybe get a little stronger, just being able to arrive at every shot, square and set, and not kind of be rushing and be all over the place, but be ready for every release and just be there and use my size to my advantage. Not really create holes, but be square, and I think that helped me the most.
Okay.
Yeah, man, he's saying all the right things, Lance. He's ringing all the bells, buddy.
All right. Yeah. It's always something to work on, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm a Brian's guy myself, but I seen last season you went with a CCM pad setup. Can you kind of tell us if you're planning to go back to them again this upcoming season? And if so, why'd you choose CCM over some of the other major companies out there?
Yeah, I'm going back to CCM again next year. I don't know, just like the way pad feels, like the way they look. Got a Somerset here, so happy with that. And yeah, I've just been using them pretty much my whole life and been happy
Okay.
with how they feel, how they work, and just staying with it.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so now it's summertime, right? And you're kicked back now and relaxed, I'm hoping a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Lots of
Okay,
hockey
all
stuff.
right. So now what are you doing fun? What are you doing for fun away from the rink?
I've been golfing quite a bit, trying to get my handicap a little lower. Not great, but
All
improving
right.
a little
Okay,
bit.
so what's your handicap?
It's sitting around a 19 right now, so not
All
the
right.
best. But I'm working
All
on
right.
it.
What kind of
Okay.
clubs do you swing?
I'm using Titleist right now. It's an old
Okay.
pair I got off Marketplace, but they've been
Nice.
working.
All
Okay.
right.
There you go.
All right.
Good deal. Good deal. All right.
Okay. All right. So, what NHL goalie did you find yourself watching or emulating the most growing up, and why?
Growing up is always Tuukka Rask. I just
Oh, there you
loved
go.
his paint job on his mask, like the
Yeah.
teeth. I just thought he was a really cool goalie to watch. My favorite team at the time was the Bruins too, so that's why. But he's always my favorite goalie growing up. I really liked watching his game.
All
That's
right.
cool.
I think Tuca was definitely a sound goaltender in my mind, and
Underrated, I
a
think.
bit underrated. I mean, he was on some good teams, some good Bruins teams there, but he was definitely an integral piece to those teams for quite some time.
Yeah, because he brought them to like 2 Stanley Cup finals, I think. Didn't win anything, but still,
Right.
it was pretty impressive.
Right.
I mean, you gotta have the guy that's the hot hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Especially,
exactly.
especially going into those key situations. You know what I mean? And that's something that is going to lead right in exactly to the question here, because not every night you can be the hot hand. Do you know what I mean? So can you tell our viewers like what it is you do to bounce back from, say, a bad game?
You just gotta keep on playing hockey. I mean, things happen. All you can do is, play and what's under your control. That's all you can really focus on. So that's what I try to remind myself, and then go with the next game with a little chip on your shoulder and just try to play your game, because at the end of the day, that's all we can really do.
Okay,
All
there you
right.
go. That's a good attitude to have. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now I'm going to steal usually one of Steele's questions here, but run us through a typical day for you, right? Do you have a preferred pregame meal? What time do you get to the rink? If on a game day, what do you do once you get there to get ready?
Well, last year I was still in school, so we had to wake up maybe 8:15, 8:30 if it wasn't a weekend game at home, and we'd go to school for about an hour before heading to the rink for pregame skate. Skate a little bit, get the touches, and just feel good. A little skating into, have a little sweat, and then usually get undressed and go home around, say, 12, maybe 11, 12. Eat a quick lunch, pregame meal, and I like to go with chicken. Chicken and rice is what I go to throughout the
Okay.
season. Had salmon and rice a little bit too, so I kind of rotated between those two. And then after I eat my pregame meal, I just like to nap till we leave. I usually leave about, if it's a 7 p.m. game, try to leave around 3. So I'll try to sleep for 2.5 hours. That's kind of my game day routine. Just like to nap a lot.
All right. Yeah, I
There you
mean,
go.
that's still getting there kind of early for sure. So I was
Yeah.
always early too. I was always sitting in the locker room early, getting mentally prepared and all that. So I can definitely see that.
I mean, look, I'm not trying to offend you guys here or anything like that, but and I feel as though anybody that's willing to stand there and face 100-mile-an-hour pucks, there's. See, look, I work with a goalie here, Josh. So I mean, okay, so you get it, right? So, do you have any like superstitions or anything like that?
Superstitions, not really. Try not to. I'll try to keep everything, so you can play. Say you don't sleep as well, then you go into the game with the same mindset. I can play, just play my game, not let anything bother you. If you don't meet that superstition or something happens to disrupt it, so you can just play and not have things to worry about.
Awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah, I don't think I had any either. Um, okay, towards the end of your season, we really saw you come into your own, especially in the playoffs, where in 12 games you managed to post 3 shutouts and, hold a 1.98 goals against average and a
Phew.
931 save percentage.
Jeez,
Um, so
yeah.
my question with that is, do you have any goals or aspirations for this upcoming season? Making Team Canada's World Junior team, winning the WHL championship, obviously potentially getting drafted.
Yeah, I think same as going into last year. I wasn't thinking too much about goals. I was just happy to be there, and you just want to try to get better every single day and continue that growth. And then it's kind of when you play your best, when you're not really thinking too much about anything else. You're just in the present moment. So that's what I'm gonna try to do again this year. Obviously, you want to set high goals for yourself, but you don't want to have those on your mind too much. Something to work towards, but not really think too much about.
No, I think that's a great answer. And, you're going to obviously have that in the back of your mind somewhere, but you take it one game at a time and let, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Okay. So at what point did you know where you might be able to have a chance to play at the level that you're at? And who do you credit for helping to get you to this point?
I've always wanted to play in the NHL since a little kid, seeing Giants games when I was younger, and I always wanted to play in this league. And the biggest person to help was goalie coach Sean Murray. He scout with the Cougars, and he was able to get me listed right because I wasn't drafted. And he's good friends with the scouting director up there, so he gave him a call and was able to get me listed right after the draft, and gave me the opportunity to go with PG. So yeah, really thankful for him, what he did for me. So I wouldn't be here without him.
I'm sure he's smiling too because boy you sure are paying off well for his choice. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty good eye for talent. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the best.
All right.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I want to pick your brain here for a minute, and you're probably going to be getting some of these type questions maybe later on in the season. But let's pretend for a moment that I'm an NHL executive or a scout, and I just asked you to break down in detail for me what is going through your mind or your head when you notice your team, just turned over the puck, and one of the opposing team's members is coming down on a fast break on you.
Yeah,
Kind of in detail. Just what do you, for our younger, viewers and stuff, kind of break that all down. A guy coming down on a 1-0 break. One of you guys just messed up and turned over the puck.
in a game you gotta crave the turnovers. You kind of want that to happen in a sense. You gotta be expecting it, and you want to have that hunger inside you that you want these chances to come so you can show off your skills. That's kind of what you have to have in the back of your head. And then when the puck enters your zone, you have to be in the moment. That's one of the biggest keys to being a goaltender. I feel like just being in the moment so that you can play at the top of your game when the puck's in your crease, and then just manage the calories that you're giving out through your mind. And like when the puck's on the other side, take a little breather. You relax a little bit, but then when it's in yours and you want to be completely focused and just not really think about much at all and just be in the moment.
All right, I like it.
Yeah, I mean you track the puck very well. You can definitely see that you have that anticipation. Your hockey IQ, I think, is off the charts. And it shows in your game because of where your placement is, where your hand placement is for your glove, and when you decide to be in the butterfly, when you decide not to be, and things of that nature. So it definitely shows in your game. So Josh, I have one of my final questions here for you, buddy. Is this what would you tell the guys behind you coming up about how you got to be where you are right now?
I think one of the biggest things for me that got me here is realizing how hard you have to work in the summers to become a better goalie or a better skater. Because everyone's skating during the year, so the summer is kind of the time that you can separate yourself from the other people, and you just gotta enjoy it and have fun, because that's why we play. I think those are the two biggest things that helped me get here, and that'd be my advice for someone else.
All right.
There you go, man. That's pretty sound advice. That's pretty sound
advice. And speaking of the work that you're putting in the summer, I think you just got back from Team Canada's National Junior Summer Showcase up in Windsor?
Yeah, right?
Windsor. So all right. Well, tell us about that experience. Like, was there anybody that, you kind of were impressed with as far as on the team, coaching, everything, just.
Yeah, I was really close. Super happy to get the invite and get to know the other guys and all the other goalies, and seeing how they play. Most of them been drafted pretty high, so it's cool being around everybody and playing a couple games. So Bjarnason, he was on my team, the other goalie. I thought he played really well and showed why he was a second round pick to Philly. And yeah, it was just overall a good experience, and really happy I was able to go.
Okay,
there you go. That's good. I mean, those are those once in a lifetime moments where you get to go up go up there and represent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's something, every Canadian, lots of Canadians watch the World Juniors every year at Christmas. And one of the biggest tournaments in the world. So
yeah, you think so, huh? I mean, they don't call it a showcase for nothing. You know what I mean?
To get ready there. Yeah, it had to be nice wearing that, red and black jersey with a maple leaf on it for sure. So, yeah. All right. Well, Steel, I think we've had a pretty good show here. I mean, we're all going to have our eyes set out on Josh this upcoming season and what he's going to be able to do to add to his success from last year. I know at least I am. So.
Oh, well, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on. Josh, this is kind of ironic. When we first started talking about the 2025 draft and some of the players that we were going to be looking at as to who would be the ones that we were going to keep an eye on, and I emailed Lance a short list of names, and of that short list of names, I think there was 5 names on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I believe the first or second name on that list was your name, Josh. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on you, sir, and your game and how you progress. And I would like to implore and ask you if you could, maybe at the end of the season here, kind of catch back up with us and have you back on.
Yeah, it's definitely something I can do. Time goes on.
Yeah, man, that's cool because we want to keep in touch, man. We want to, see how you're doing, see what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much for being on the show here with us, Josh. We really appreciate taking the time. Lance, thank you very much for all the work that you do for Prospect Watch, for the SteelFlyers All Sports Network. Really appreciate all the great articles that you put out there as well, too. So be sure to check out the article about Josh on the website. All you have to do is go to steelflyers.com and check out the latest article from Lance about Josh. And that'll also be paired up here with this show here, which we're really proud to bring you as well, too. So I'm your co-host, Ron SteelFlyers, and we will catch you all on the next episode of Prospect Watch.